Hello, my name is John, by the way. I am the Community Manager for RGT Cycling. I create most of the magic roads for our partner events such as the Our Gyro series, Skoda V Women's series and many other events yet to be launched. This video is to take you through techniques in editing your GPX files to remove issues or make them more suitable for riding on RGT's Magic Roads feature. For those that have not used this feature yet, Magic Roads is a feature where we build a matching road to any GPX you send in to us. The road will match every curve and gradient change in your GPX. These can be created either by using a GPX enabled device on your bike as you ride a course or using many third-party apps such as Strava Route Builder. The quality of your magic road will be down to the quality of the GPX you send in to us, and there is a surprisingly large variety in the quality of GPX files we receive. Issues can include your avatar simply moving awkwardly, strange twitches, doubling back on itself, even wild spikes in gradient. We will go through techniques in removing these issues here. Probably the first thing you need to ask yourself is, are you making an accurate copy of the course for perhaps checking out a TT or race course that you'll be entering at some point? Or are you wanting to make a course that allows avatars to ride smoothly and give a good riding experience to all those that are using it? If you want a truly accurate course, you may need to take this much further and get your data from a LiDAR scan. These are highly accurate, especially for gradients, but are very complicated and time consuming to build. We will not be going into that here, but if you want more information, please visit the RGT Users Facebook group and look in the pinned posts for a thread by Jonathan College, who provides detailed information on working with LiDAR scans. This video is for those that want to make a good representation of the course, which will still be very close to the overall look and feel of it, but in certain areas we will be manipulating the set points to create a smoother course. I have created a short test course with as many issues as I could cram into it. So let's have a look and see what problems we need to solve. So first of all, we'll show you the course, and this is the course that I've created. It's short and you can see the start point by the green dot and the end point by the red dot. Now this is the course with some avatars going down it. Now the avatar is set as 1000 watts, so it will fly off the line. Initially it goes into these 90-degree bends, and I have to say our parser, which is the algorithm that creates these magic roads and adds the terrain to it, is actually very good at doing 90-degree bends. You may want to keep them if you're creating or trying to create a more accurate course, just so you've got the visuals of where these bends are. But personally, for a general purpose mountain magic road, I would prefer to put a small arc in them to allow the avatar to move more freely around them. So we're just moving around the final sharp right-hander, and then we will enter the outback road. Now this is where somebody is, or where I've taken the road up the same road and brought it back down the same road, and you can see the road now goes on to the back version. So now we're basically on two roads. We're actually riding the out road, but we're actually on top of the back road. This is can create a lot of issues. Now here there are some twitches with the avatar, and that always comes down to the GPX quality that you've sent in. The avatar will always follow the GPX course that you send us, and if you find your avatar suddenly goes back, it's because you've got hidden GPX set points in your track that have gone back on themselves and then gone forward again. So we will need to find a way of removing those. Now the avatar is on the return leg of that road and facing the oncoming traffic, and you can see clearly we're riding through avatars. Really, it's not a pleasant experience and something we need to avoid, so we will be doing something about that. The next issue we come against is an area where there are lots of additional set points, and you will get some third-party applications that will add them, or you may add them yourself for some reason or other. And sometimes if the quality of the set points are not very good, they may be added and then just slightly off position from the existing ones, and that's why you get that slight wave. We will need to resolve that. Now the avatar comes into a sharp corner, it stops momentarily before it twitches around. That frankly we need to make a lot smoother. Now we're coming up to a short roundabout, and frankly I see no reason in a general purpose magic road having such a thing. I would only keep it if you were literally trying to create an accurate course representation that you were going to be riding in real life at some point. Otherwise, remove it. Now we're coming up to a sharp right left turn, and if you watch the avatar it moves very clunkily through it. It's such a sharp right left turn that frankly I am leaning towards getting rid of it because I don't see much point in it. To make it more useful you'd have to widen it quite a bit, which would change the actual course more than just by removing a couple of set points and blending the existing road into it. Now we're coming up to the first hairpin. If you look at the inside edge you'll see how the road comes back on itself and folds over, and that really is because the road or the corner is too narrow and the passer hasn't got enough room to make the road curve around it correctly. So we do need to widen that corner. Now we're coming up to a much narrower hairpin where we obviously have a similar issue with the road folding in on itself, but the passer also is struggling to sort out the gradient, and so you've got a very sharp gradient here. So that's why we need to widen this section substantially to allow the passer the option to make that curve a lot better and get rid of that gradient. Now we're moving up to the final corner, and this is fairly good apart from the fact that you've got a very sharp gradient, and you can just see the 27% gradient starting here before it goes back to the existing 11% here. That clearly is not something we want unless there is a 27% gradient in the road that you're actually creating. So that we need to smooth out. So that shows you how bad that course is. It shows you a number of issues that you might find on your own GPXs that show you what you need to do and how to fix them. So now I'll remove that and we'll go straight into the first program, GPS Prune. Now this is what we use to sort out our issues, and first of all I'm going to show you what the controls are with this program. Now when you first get to it you will go to the file, click on open file, and then open your GPX file wherever it was, and then it will come up like this. It might be zoomed out, you can zoom it in as much as you like. Personally I like to zoom it into the last zoom option before the map disappears, and then irrespective of how long the course is, I will then at that zoom level go the entire length of it looking for issues. Otherwise if you further zoomed out you may not see issues and they won't become apparent until you actually ride the course. So you've just basically brought this file in place. The first thing you want to do is look at where the start point is, and if you don't know which end of the start point is, you can always go to your course at the bottom here, the bottom gradient graph, go into the far left corner and just click on it, and that will show you where your start point is. So now I know that this is the start point. If I click on it and then click on the set range start button, that will now show me over in this corner here in the range details box that this course is 3.75 kilometers long. Now that can be useful. What you need to find out is perhaps when you're riding a course and you find a problem, and let's say on this course I find a problem at 2.7 kilometers into it. If I want to try and find that quickly on GPS Prune, all I do is first of all click on that start point and go to set range start, and then find a set point close to where you think it may be, click on that one perhaps, click on set range end, which is the next button to it, click on that, and that now shows me that is 2.45 kilometers away from the start. So I'm close to the 2.7 I'm looking for, but not quite there. So perhaps if I try another one and click on that set range end button again, 2.56. Click another, and where are we? 2.8, gone too far. So probably around about here. Click on it again, 2.65. So we know we're now in the right area to really look at where that problem lies. So that's a quick way of finding the area that you need to work on. So next point is to manipulate the set points. You will first need to click on this little hand icon up here. Once you click on it, you will then be able to move these set points, and that helps you manipulate the GPX. And you must remember, when you're moving these GPX points, you're only moving the position. You're not actually changing the vertical height of that set point, only the position of it. Although if you move that set point a long way away, it will change the gradients between the set points. So in mountain roads and sharp hairpins, you will try and keep the set points as close to their original position as possible. So first thing I want to show you is interpolating points. This is one of the biggest things that you'll use. So in starting a corner, first off you'll move a couple of the set points to help create a corner, and then you'll get to a point where you probably need an additional set point or a few of them to help you create that curve. So clearly here you can see there is a curve, but it will look better with another set point here. So just to get an additional point, click on the first point you want to create the set point from after, click on the set range from start, and then choose where you want to the end position where you want the set point between, which is this one in this case. Click on set range end, and then click on range, interpolate points, and now you've got this pop-up box, and now you can decide how many points you have between those two set points. However many points you put in here will be added in between that set start and set end range. So I only want one, so I'm going to click one and enter, and now you can see I've had that added in. All I do is move it, and now you can see I've got a much better curve. So that would be perfectly okay for our parser to create a nice smooth arc in that corner. Now you can add in those set points to every gap between set points between a range. So for example, if I wanted to add in additional set points between every one of these gaps between here and there, I would simply click on that set start, click on that set end, and then click on my interpolate points, and then for this example I'm going to put an additional 2 in between each point, and now you can see I've had 2 extra points added in between each of the spaces between those set points. So that can make your life a lot easier when you're creating these areas. Next thing I'm going to show you is the track compress tool, which has some interesting options in it. The best option is the duplicate removal tool. Now often, as I said, there will be cases where you've got set points on top of each other, and you will not necessarily see them. No matter how well you're zoomed in, you won't see them, or you may not see them. So this can be a way of getting rid of them without even knowing that they're there. Now we know from the video I showed you that the avatar goes back here, so I'm very confident there are some double points there. So if I click on that, it's already clicked, it's showing me I've got 4 points to delete. So if I click on OK, it will highlight where they are, and there they are. So in that position where we saw the avatar going back on itself. Excuse me. So if I click on yes here, that has now removed those set points, and now just by moving that I can see there's no doubled up points there. So that has removed the issue straight away. But in the video I'm going to show you shortly, instead of doing that, I pulled it apart and then I reused them, which allowed me to make the roundabout a little bit bigger, going right around the outside edge, which in the end gives me a smoother curve for the avatar to move around. So those are the key tools. The last tool that you're probably likely to be using will be the delete tool, which you'll simply click on a set point. You've got a little red cross here, and you can just delete that point and keep on deleting. It keeps on going forward, and you can delete as many as you want. So that is a very useful tool as well. If you want to undo anything, click on the undo button and then go back as far as you want, and in this point, well, I will go back right back to the start almost. So that is the main tools of the application. Now the last thing I want to talk to you about is the start and end areas. If you've got a set point you want your start gantry and finish gantry, you must remember that the start gantry will be placed 40 meters in from your existing start point, your existing GPS start point, and the end finish gantry will be put in 200 meters in from your start point, and that is to allow the riders space to go past the finish gantry and then slow down. So if you have set points where you want the start and finish gantries, you need to add in an additional 40 meters at the start and an additional 200 meters at the end. Okay, now what I'm going to do is show you a short video of me sorting out all of the issues on this track in double speed. So let's get rid of this and go into the video. So now you can see I'm starting to pull the curves up. I will start looking for my set range start and my set range end, and then click on the interpolate point and click how many set points I want between there. Now on this video it's not showing you the pop-ups, but I showed you them in the previous view. So again, I'm just moving the set points to give myself a rough idea of what curves I want, and then I will click my set start and set end, interpolate, add in the additional set points, and then I will start moving them. I'm still trying to keep as close to the course as possible to keep the integrity of it. Remember that we're on the highest zoom level before you lose the map, and that is pretty close. So whilst at the zoom level that we're seeing the map, it looks like we're cutting the corners quite a bit. In reality, we're not. You also notice that I quite often zoom into the white area. That enables me to see the curve easier, or at least that's what I find. Now I'm about to start pulling the outback road, or separate them, and that's why I've just separated that first one, because that enables me to see that final curve and how that needs to be, how the arc needs to be put in. So I'm just finishing off that final arc, and we've got much smoother arcs right from the start there. And now I will start pulling the set points apart to create basically a separate out road and a separate back road. and you can see now where that doubled up section is, well hidden under the existing set points. So now, as opposed to just using the duplicate removal tool, I'm just reusing them, placing them where I want them, giving myself the additional space to just widen the roundabout, which is still within the confines of the actual course, but I'm just using every inch of it. And as I say, just that extra couple of meters will enable the parser to make a much smoother course for the avatar to go around that roundabout. So no doubt I will zoom in again in a second and just fine tune that curve. As I say, you can see that when you zoom in with the white background, it does enable you to see the curve a bit easier and a bit quicker. You can get very absorbed into this, and you can take ages to create perfect arcs, and you don't necessarily need to create perfect arcs. So now I'm just getting to the area where there was way too many set points, and because this was a flat and straight road, it wasn't required. So I've just taken the route of mass deleting them. So now we'll come into the sharp corner. You'll see me now widening the road to give myself a smoother curve into the corner. I'm clearly going to cut the corner, and I'm sure people will say, well, you're no longer following the course, and if you want, and I'd agree, but this is about making a course that works well for the avatar and Magic Roads. And as I say, if you're not creating a course that has to be accurate, then we're still keeping the integrity of the course, but just allowing the avatar to move freely around that corner will create a much more pleasant experience for the user and the avatar. So here's that short, small roundabout. Just I can't see the point in them, I just deleted that. And here we are in that sharp right left corner. As I said, we could have taken quite a bit of time and extended it and made it much bigger, but that could have changed the course quite a bit more. So I chose the option of just removing a couple of set points and making the arc into the mountain road a lot easier. So now we're at the point of the hairpins, where each of them will be simply widened, and then additional set points added, just like the earlier curves, to create smoother arcs. And we're just following the same procedure. We're literally zooming in so I'm able to see where the finer balance is with placing the GPS set points to get a good curve. And you can see, if you have a look at that, the width of that hairpin, that's realistically speaking the minimum width you want a hairpin to be, to create a smooth arc for the parser to create a smooth curve around the road. So that's pretty much the minimum I will do mounting hairpins, and frankly it's pretty close to the hairpins. It's a little bit further than if you rode the full width of the corner in real life, as opposed to riding on the inside line and as quickly as around it as you can. So we're just getting to the last one here, and the parser will be finished shortly. Now, just literally while I've got a second here, when I create a magic road, I will more than likely build that magic road in Strava Route Builder, because they have the best data set out there, certainly for European and US regions, and you will get a good basis to create your magic roads from. You'll still need to deal with various issues, but it's a very good platform and to be used as a basis for creating your GPX route, and then editing from that point on. Now we're just coming up to the end of it, and once we've got there, I will go into the next phase, which will be looking at changing the gradients. So after this, you've created the magic road, and now you can see all the curves and it's looking a lot better. So now we will get rid of this and start thinking about taking this file, saving this file, and going to Gpx Smoother. But first of all, I'm just going to show you how to save a GPS prune file, because that may not be obvious. So you need to, once you've got your file, you need to go to File and then go to the Export GPX file button. Click on that and this box comes up. Frankly, you never have to do much with this box. I just click on OK there on that all the time. Then this button comes up and this is where you put your file name and save it. Okay, so that's how you save a file in GPX Prune. Now we're going to get back to Gpx Smoother and what we need to do. First of all though, I'm going to show you a brief video on how to, sorry, I'm clicking on the wrong ones here. There we go. So this is a brief video on a wavy road, undulating road, and these are gradient changes from the GPX file. There's probably only a ½ meter height difference between a number of those GPS set points, but it's enough to create an undulating road, and it's not a very nice experience to ride on. Doesn't look good, and it's certainly not something we want to be doing, so we want to try and remove them. And with this version, you can see a very sharp point here, and yeah, we really don't want to be riding a road like that. So this is why we're going to go into a gradient changing program, and we're going to go straight into Gpx Smoother. So this is Gpx Smoother. Now this is a great program for changing your gradients. Now I've just uploaded the bumpy road that you just saw there, and if you have a look on this gradient, you can see the ripples in the gradient here. That's the bit going around the roundabout, and you can see the little ripples on the hairpins going up the climb. So clearly we need to do some work on this. Now just as an example, first of all I'm going to show you a couple of options you've got here. Now this is the beta version of the Gpx Smoother program, and it's got a lot of, or an additional smoothing options or algorithms for you to play with. It's got slope box smoothing, elevation box smoothing, and it's got the Kalman Filter. Now certainly the box smoothing and the Kalman Filter are the main ones I will use when working. Now Kalman Filter is generally a good filter for flatter courses, and the box smoothing is better for climbs. Now if you wanted to zoom in on a certain section and just fine-tune things, then you've got additional options like apply the slope range, flatten values and slope difficulty. Those can give you ways of manipulating individual areas, but we are just manipulating the whole circuit. If you are choosing to just work on a certain area, this box here, you just slide along to the area that you want to work on, and you can see the area you want to work on. You've got options here that show you that gradient choice, and this you can see the gradients going up and down, and the elevation chart just shows you what's going on with the actual main elevation. But we're just going to be doing the entire course, so we'll expand that to the entire course, and you can see here the gradients. You can see the spikes, which are the problems we've got. So if we go back to the elevation profile, just as an example, I'm going to show you the Kalman filter and what that does to it. Now you can, if you remember what that slope looked like prior, you can see it's smoothed it out, but it's made quite a significant difference. Now if we go to the elevation chart, you can now see the Kalman filter, which is the one in green, has changed it quite a lot. It's significantly flattened it there, and it looks like there's quite a substantial height difference over a 3.75 kilometre course. This is substantial, so that's 56 meters high and this is 83, so we're talking what, 27 meters or something. So there's quite a big difference, so that filter I wouldn't use on this course. So if we reset the data, go back to the elevation profile, again you can see that is the realistic grade we're looking for. If we try box smoothing, wow, that's kept the integrity of the course much better. If we go to the elevation chart, we can see that the box smoothing is holding to the line better and is probably only 3 or 4 meters height difference. Where are we? 83, 87, yeah, 4 meters height difference. So that is the filter we'd use on this. Now you should never get hung up on height being as accurate as you believe it should be, unless you're using LiDAR data. If you're using any other data, there is no way you're going to know which is actually the right data. Any GPS device that you're getting data from a ride could be wrong, could be calibrated wrong, could have a little bit of something in one of the holes that's creating different air pressure. You don't know whether those figures are accurate. You don't know whether the files are accurate from wherever you got the route, if you built the route yourself. So don't get too hung up on trying to make the height as accurate as possible. You're looking to create a usable road. So in this case, we're happy with that, and all you do then is type the name you want here, click on download, and then you've got your new file. So once you've got that, you will then go into our map, shows us our course and what we've done to it, and now we're going to show you the finished result after we've changed it all to look like that course. You're now going to see the bot go around the smoother arcs around that initial section, and as I say, personally I think that's a nicer way for the bots to go around, or you to go around a sharp corner. It hasn't taken a lot of the corner, it's just nipped the edge, and you can almost say it's taking the racing line. But the bot is now able to smoothly go around that corner, or should I say the avatar is able to smoothly go around that corner with a nice arc. We're now going around the last curve now, and now we're entering the area where we've separated the out and back road, and now you can see the back road on the other side of the hedge there, and that looks a lot better now. And now we're moving into the area where the avatar was jumping around. We've removed that, so now the avatar goes cleanly forward, and now it goes into the now slightly larger roundabout, and the avatar is able to move smoothly and uniformly around the curve of the roundabout into its own back version of the road, where it's now able to see riders on the other side of the road coming its way and avoid them clearly. So now that all looks natural and much better. We'll now shortly be going into the area where we have the very wavy road section, where we deleted the set points. They were not necessary as it's a flat and straight road. So they've all gone, and now the avatar is moving freely and nicely along the road. We'll next be getting into that sharp corner where we've just curved it off a bit, and the avatar will now cleanly and graciously go around the corner much better than it did previously. So that, I think you'll agree, looks better than what it did before. Now we're going up to the area where we just literally straight lined the roundabout and got rid of it. I just don't see the point in minor roundabouts. Occasionally I will just leave the odd node slightly out of place just to show there was a roundabout there, but that was too small to do that. Here we're now to the sharp right and left, and as said before, that I just removed a couple of set points to blend the existing road into the mountain road now, because it's quite close. Now we're coming up to the first hairpin. If you look at the inside edge, you'll notice that the corner now is smooth and arced, as opposed to before where it folded in on itself, which shows that the widening of it has allowed the passer to make a much better corner. There, that's nice and smooth and curved. And next we're going into that much narrower hairpin, where widening it out has allowed the passer the ability to add in a few additional assets. So it's adding in a couple of trees on the inside edge now, and it's been able to create a much smoother arc and smoother gradient going around the corner. So now it looks a lot more natural. The rider moves graciously again around the corner and looks much more natural. And now we're coming into the final bend where we had that sharp 27% gradient, and we've removed that gradient, and now it's evenly going up that corner and around it nicely and onto the finish straight and into the finish. So now we've finished, and you've seen how the improvements have, or what the improvements have made to the course. Hopefully you'll agree that the actions that we've taken have improved the course to make it much better for the rider and avatar alike. Obviously, if you want to create a more accurate course, then you'll might not curve them quite as much as I did, but that works a lot better. So on that note, hopefully you've enjoyed this tutorial, learned something from it, and can put it towards your GPX issues that you've found in your files yourself. Look forward to seeing you guys on the road. Thanks again for watching, and if you can, like the video. Thanks a lot. Bye.